Post-Katrina, I ain't have nowhere to live. Called my brother Smoke, he told me I could play the crib. He said he had a FEMA trailer and the place was his. And he had a plug on them pills, we could make it big. So I moved in it, kept a tool in it. Money started coming, what to do with it. New Year came like a Yankee in a blue fitted. Spot how my man Smoke getting too loose with it. New faces coming in and out the trap. Whole time this the place we land, all our heads at. City told me, Chef, you need to move, that's a fair trap. Come to the crib and shake back before they raid that. That's advice that you know I had to take. Packed all my bags, left the dope, but I kept the safe. Gave my life to the Most High and got amazing grace. Week later, feds kicked the door, but I missed the case.
Amazing grace.
I've got to bless you.
Three open cases sitting in that cell. Replaced the C with an H, I was sitting in hell. I went them up with no commissary, it crushed me. It made me feel like my family didn't love me. That's when I knew that street shit wasn't for me. It opened up my eyes, started searching for him above me. Had me ducking bullets when niggas was trying to slug me. I knew I had to change, the shit was starting to get ugly. Opened up the Bible, started reading certain scripts. Couldn't understand before, now it's all making sense. Friends starting to look at me strange, I had to change the clip. All they wanna do is flash pose, but they ain't taking pics. Plus Philly all Muslim, so it's major hate. I hit the street, started to teach, trying to change their fate. Plus in that book of life, I'm trying to make some space. If I don't make it, all praise for his amazing grace.
Amazing grace.
I've got to bless you.
Right now, somebody is hating on you, and you and me is what we gonna tell them. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. Does it matter what they say about me? Cause I know God don't play about me. Rumors don't matter if they aren't true. The reason they mad is cause they aren't you. They aren't blessed, they aren't highly favored. They're just jealous that somebody made it. Words may hurt, but it didn't kill. And you can't break what you didn't build. Use these words as an affirmation. Don't let them distract you from your aspiration. Let the hatred feed your inner beast, but always keep God as your centerpiece.
What that mean?
You gotta be in B with it.
Always.
Don't stand for nothing, then you need to sit and watch the real soldiers take a risk. If you relate to this, then homie, make a fist. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. If the keyboard is crazy and the drum pad is kicking, you can pass me the mic. I'm about to start spitting. Will they love me, feel me, relate to me, lyrically, hate me, despise me, corrupt inside spiritually? It's the times that we're living in. No selling my soul, there's no giving in. I ain't waiting on a Judas purse. Trained to the arms are bulging through the shirts. Get the picture, that's what cameras do. Protect what I own, I got hammers too. Prefer peace and I'm praying on it.
Club shame.
I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I need y'all to say that every day. We're on a whole different stratosphere. We don't give a damn what the haters say. Yeah, I'm out.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. What's going on, everybody? What is going on? What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Lions of Israel class. It is your brother, Priest Daniela, representing Lions of Israel, Maccabees TV. And as always, I'm joined with the Elder Zahab of the Lions of Israel as well. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. Do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. I want to say peace and blessings, peace and safety to everybody that has joined us today to listen to our class. We appreciate you. We definitely value your time. All praise to the Most High for you guys being here as always. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching us on the Lions of Israel class page, as well as Maccabees TV. Much love to you guys again. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Oh, oops. Hey, do me a favor, guys. I invited my brother Nasai up and moved him to the audience back by accident on Clubhouse. So Shemaim was a car here. You could bring Nasai up as well. And anybody else that's supposed to be on stage, you guys can bring them up. Yes, shout out to everybody that watches us on our YouTube channels. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channels. Click the notification button so you can be notified every time that we go live. And speaking of Brother Nasai, we appreciate him for allowing us to broadcast into people's homes on the Sire TV. Much love to that brother. Please support the brother in any way you can, even if it's just some kind words when you see him on social media. Please support that brother. All right. And last but not least, the Clubhouse family. Shalom to you guys as well. Make sure you guys ping people to the room. And of course, as always, the link is at the top of the room for today's class. Today's class is going to be highly visual. So I would suggest that everybody that's listening to me, if you are at all possible to do so, you should be clicking the link at the top of the room to come over to YouTube. Today's class is going to be heavy on me playing a lot of videos. I'm going to go into a book also, but I'm going to play a lot of videos today. So obviously you guys could hear the videos via audio, but sometimes, you know, the visual aspect brings it out a little bit more. So you guys can click the link on Clubhouse and come over to YouTube and see the presentation if you so choose. With that being said, without further ado, I'm joined by Elder Zahab as always, so I'm going to go ahead and pass him the floor if he has any opening remarks that he wants to say.
Hey, Shalom, King. Shalom. Shalom to the family. Ashah Shabbat, Barakatah Yahweh, Bashema Mashiach Yahushai. All praise to the Most High. Just happy to see another Sabbath. Woke up this morning, breathing air. You know, they got a saying, priest, every day above ground is a good day. Is that true? I believe so.
100% facts.
That is fact. So, brothers and sisters, you're above ground. Throw your hands up. Say, praise Abba, the water, the water, the water. All praise to the Most High. Let's get it.
All right, brothers and sisters. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get started because it's a lot to talk about. I have a lot to get through. I'm going to try my best to kind of let these slides speak for themselves so that I don't take too long in bringing this stuff out. Right. So it has been, and this will be an understatement, it has been an eventful, let's say the last 10 days has been very, very eventful. Over the last 10 days, what have we seen? We saw a man with mental illness, according to all reports. The guy has mental illness, get on a train and basically attack a female on the train and slit her throat and kill her, right? And what has happened, you know, with that case, of course, in this climate, in this environment that we're living in, You have many that have tried to turn that case into a so-called racial thing to fan the flames of racial hatred and divide between so-called black people and so-called white people. And one of the biggest people doing that was Charlie Kirk. He was one of the loudest voices. Not too long after that happened, we all saw what happened with him, right? He was at a college campus in Utah, and basically he was gunned down at that college campus, right? In front of the world, in front of his wife, in front of his children, in front of hundreds of people that were watching, and in front of the world. That's what happened. Now, there are many conspiracies as to what took place. If history teaches us anything about these sorts of cases, it doesn't matter whether it is John F. Kennedy. It doesn't matter if it's his brother Robert Kennedy. It doesn't matter if it's Martin Luther King. It doesn't matter if it's Malcolm X. It doesn't matter if it's Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, or Charlie Kirk. We know every time one of these mass shootings go down or somebody dies, there's always 1,000 different stories as to what took place. And 1,000 different conspiracy so-called theories, right? Now, today's class is called Making Sense Out of Nonsense. Let's go down the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole that we're going to go down together today, brothers and sisters, is not to push any type of conspiracy theories whatsoever. We're going to allow the internet to do that. And within every so-called conspiracy theory, there's elements of truth. But there are also things that are purposely put out there to throw people off, to take your eyes off of what is really happening, to distract you. So we're going to go down a rabbit hole and we're going to look at what we can actually see with the senses that the Most High gave us. All right. So, of course, since we are Bible people, we're going to start off reading the Bible. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3. We're going to pick it up from verse number 1. It says, "Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I have brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." So the Israelites are the only people that the Most High knows of all the families of the earth, of all the descendants that come from Noah and his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The Most High only knows Israel. We are the ones that the Most High entered into covenant with. Our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then us. And when we entered into that contract, there were stipulations in the contract that if we did not follow, there will be penalties or punishments. And of course, everybody knows how the story goes. We as a people, as a nation, did not follow the contract. And so therefore, the Most High punished us, right? Let's continue reading. Verse 3. It says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed? Will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing? Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth where no gin is for him?" A gin is a trap. That's Old English. "Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all?" Verse 6. "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord hath not done it?" Verse 7. "Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets." The prophets are the ones blowing the trumpet. We're not blowing a physical trumpet. In this particular case, it's metaphoric. We're blowing a metaphorical trumpet. It is our voices. Look at Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. It says, "Cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet." So the trumpet that's being sounded in the cities all across the world, but mainly in America, is the men of the Lord, the watchmen that are going on these corners and these street corners, and we are prophesying and warning about things to come. The trumpet that's being blown is our voices. We're warning about what the Most High is going to do. The Most High has punished our people, and the Most High is also going to bring punishments down upon the land of our captivity. So Isaiah 58:1 says, "Lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sin." So it's a simultaneous job. It's a dual job. On one hand, we have to speak concerning the downfall of America and her allies. And also we have to show our people their transgressions. Peradventure, a certain amount of our people, 1/3, will repent from their sins and they will be delivered. That's the job. All right, let's move on. This is Isaiah 42, verse 9. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. So in Isaiah's time, there were certain things that had been prophesied prior to him that eventually came to pass. And the Most High was telling Isaiah, there are new things that I'm going to declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. So the Most High always gives us forewarning about certain things that's going to happen. And then it is our job as the watchmen. I don't really like to call myself a prophet. You know, I know some brothers in Israel do. I don't necessarily like doing that. I think that's kind of presumptuous, but to each his own. But I do refer to myself as a watchman. Watchmen stand on the wall and they blow the trumpet if they see trouble coming. Right? That's what we do. So before these things spring forth, we as the watchmen have to go out into the city streets, right? The highways and the byways, and we have to blow our voice like a trumpet and warn our people about what is about to happen, because our people don't know. Yes, the so-called black men, black women are some of the most church-going people in the world, but they're not learning anything in these churches, as we already know. So we have to go out and show our people what they're not learning in church. The churches are not showing our people their transgressions or their sins. They're actually covering our people's sins because they want people to continue to come and continue to give tithe money and preachers' funds, so forth and so on. So they're not going to show our people their transgressions. But the watchmen don't care. That's the difference. Let's move on. Let's jump over to Jeremiah chapter 7. Starting from verse number 23, it says, but this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice. We all know how that turned out. We did not. And I will be your God, and ye shall be my people. And walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. These are simple instructions. Verse 24, but they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear. And part of the reason why our people don't hearken unto the Most High is because the Most High God, Yahweh, doesn't come off his throne and communicate with the people. The Most High sends watchmen. The Most High sends prophets. The Most High sends teachers. And a lot of our people, as we can see all throughout the scriptures, whether it be Isaiah, whether it be Jeremiah, whether it be Hamashiach Yahushua, Jesus Christ himself, when you come in the form of a man, trying to talk to other men and other women, they don't respect that. They don't respect it. You just a man like me. Right? We see in the Gospels, the people said, is this not the son of Joseph and his mother Mary and his brothers and sisters? We know them like this. He's like us. What do you mean? So because our people perceive us that way, not understanding that the Spirit of the Most High comes down upon us to do this job, that we're anointed to do this job, a lot of our people don't respect that. So as a result, they don't listen to what's being said, but walked in their own counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backwards and not forwards. Verse 25, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets. So from back then till today, the Most High never destroyed our people. The Most High never brought punishments down on our people without warning us first. But because we're not coming to our people in a $1,000 custom-made suit, in some $1,000 gators like these pastors and preachers, we don't look like nothing, so they don't listen to it. But it's okay. Unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me. I want you guys to see that. The Most High said they didn't hearken unto me, meaning what? They saw the prophets, they saw another man, so there's like, to hell with that. Not understanding that the prophets were representing the Most High, but they cannot perceive that. And they can't perceive it today either. That's just Zahab. Ain't nobody. That's just dead. Ain't nobody. Time will tell, though. Nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. This is the Most High speaking to Jeremiah, saying in Jeremiah's generation, our people were worse than the ones that were with Moses in the wilderness. Guess what? That is progressive. Our people today are worse than the ones during Jeremiah's time, and even worse than the ones that were around during Moses' time. We're worse. At least they knew who they were. We don't even know that. Verse 27, therefore, thou speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken unto thee. This is the same thing the Most High told Ezekiel, ain't it? I already know, Jeremiah, they're not going to listen to you, but tell them anyway. That way they have no excuse. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee. But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Lord their God, Yahweh, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth. And this is what we tell them. We tell the Christians that all the time. They don't want to hear it. And anybody else that will listen, there's no truth in you. Let's move on. Let's jump over to the book of Malachi, chapter 1. Let's pick it up from verse 1. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Now the Most High is going to give Malachi. Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So what is Esau? Esau is the border of wickedness. Wherever he is, wherever he dwells, wickedness is there too. Every country Esau goes into and brings his democracy comes transgression and sins. Now all of a sudden people throw away their ancient customs. Now they're all lesbians, they're all gays, right? They're all transgenders. They're all eating pork and shrimp and lobster and crab. The women take off their ancient garments and are walking around the streets half naked, just like in the West. Everywhere Esau goes, he is the border of wickedness. And the people against whom the Lord God hath indignation, which is righteous anger forever. So they are the border of wickedness. Let's jump over to Psalm chapter 37, verses 12 through 13. It says, the wicked plotteth against the just. This is what we're going to be talking about today, making sense out of nonsense. Because the wicked spearhead are plotting against the just. Who's the just? The Israelites. Everything that you guys see going on is gradually taking us to a place where they're going to come against us, the Israelites, the ones that profess to be Israelites. We eventually are going to be enemy number one, but it's happening gradually. They're setting the stage for this thing. Just think about it. Somebody out in public debating, right? He gets shot. He doesn't get shot just anywhere, but the exit wound is out of his neck, as though that's a message to be quiet. You got to pay attention. They could have shot him in his head, his chest, anywhere, but the exit wound is in his neck. That's telling you something. It's just like the mafia. When they would find out that somebody's a rat, what would they do? They would cut out their tongue, meaning shut up. Now, again, there are a lot of conspiracies behind that. We're not visiting that, but we have to look at the symbolism of what's going on and pay attention to that, right? What do we as the Israelites do? We stand out in the public and debate. Is that not what we do every Saturday? It's only a matter of time. It happens from time to time, but it's only a matter of time as things begin to ratchet up and ramp up that those of us on the front lines on the streets are going to become a target. That's the point. Some brothers are going to be arrested. Some brothers may be physically harmed. We've already seen in the past brothers from other camp getting shot at already. We have seen Israelites getting shot at camp already. Are we prepared for what's coming mentally, spiritually? Because it's coming. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him. Why? For he seeth that his day is coming. At the end of the day, like I said before, everything is already decided. Esau going to lose. No matter what he does, no matter what plots he puts out, at the end of everything, he's going to lose. But the mandate for you and I is to be aware of what Esau is doing. Because the Most High said before he does these things, he warns you of them. And the Most High will send you teachers that will teach you about what is coming, that will help you develop what is called pattern recognition, where you actually see things going on over and over again, and you can spot the pattern a mile away. Even if everybody else can't see it, you can see it. You can see the plot going on. You can see what they're gradually trying to herd everybody into doing. You can see it. And that's what today's class is about. But at the end of the day, it's already all the plots that they're plotting, they're going to lose. And the knowledge of that is what's going to carry us through as things get worse, as things get bleak, as though it's looking like we have no hope. As we read in the scriptures, Elijah prayed to the Most High and said, yo, I'm the only one left. That's how bad it got. What did the Lord say? I have reserved 7,000 other men that have not bowed themselves to Baal. For some of us, it's going to get that bad. I'm just being real. We haven't seen anything yet. And that's why we have to constantly read the Bible day in and day out and fortify our minds, because these things are coming. And if you recognize the patterns and everything, you will understand what you're seeing, and you will not bug out, because our people are going to bug out. I'm looking at TikTok and everybody's bugging out over Charlie Kirk, including Black people. It's so bad. You had a school shooting the same day. Nobody's talking about that. Did y'all see that? Children were shot. I don't know what their ethnicity was, but that's not the point. It's a larger point. You had children that were shot at school. Nobody's talking about it. But the media is cycling this Charlie Kirk thing over and over again, resurfacing clips of him and saying certain things about the LGBT, saying certain things about so-called Black people, saying certain things about immigrants, saying certain things about Palestine, and they're cycling that stuff over and over and over and over again. To do what? Stoke the flames. That's the point, because that's the narrative they want out there. I hope y'all are paying attention. It's a plot and a plan. But let's continue. This is Proverbs 12, verse 5 through 7. It says, the thoughts of the righteous are right. That's us. But the counsels of the wicked are deceit. So they sit in these councils. We're going to talk about some of these councils. You guys on Clubhouse that are just popping in the room, I see you guys cycling into the room. I'm about to play a ton of videos that you guys need to see. You can definitely listen to it, but it's better off if you see it. The link is at the top of the room. You guys can come over to YouTube and watch the PowerPoint. Proverbs 12, verses 5 through 7. It says, the thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. What are these counsels? I don't really see many people in the Israelite community talking about it. Is it because brothers and sisters don't know? Are we that distracted? One of the number one secret councils that they have is the World Economic Forum. We're going to look at some videos from there. I've played some of them before. We're going to play them again. They have these councils, and they speak of villainy openly in these councils, and we're not paying attention. The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood. That's what they're talking about. For them to achieve the goals that they want to achieve in these councils, blood is going to be shed. I need for y'all to understand that. But the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. That's us. We're the uprights. We must go out here and warn our people about what's coming, turn many to repentance, and pray to the Most High to deliver us. That's our weapon. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. That's why the Bible said in the book of Jeremiah, we just read it, where we are supposed to daily do these things. The prophets, the Most High said he sent them forth daily. Let's go back to it real quick. Let's go back to it real quick, because this is important. Verse 25 of Jeremiah chapter 27, it says, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. This thing that we're doing is not just for Saturdays. It's not reserved only for Saturdays. For all the brothers that the only time that you teach is on Saturdays, and some of you don't even teach on Saturdays, you don't do no classes, you don't do anything, you got to put your hands to that plow and get your hands dirty. Christ, Yahweh Shah said, pray for many laborers. It's not enough of us doing this teaching. Because the sooner that we put this word out, and the 144,000 are sealed, pursuant to Revelation chapter 7, is the sooner that we'll start seeing things turn in our favor. But things are going to go bad first. So we need all hands on deck. That's the point. Let's move on. Now, vocabulary matters. So before we get into what we're going to get into, I want to make sure everybody understands this particular word, because Esau, this is exactly what he's doing. There's a word in the dictionary called gradualism. What is gradualism? Gradualism is a policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. So the things that Esau has in place today that are already in place, they've been planning this for the last 50 to 100 years. And what they do is they don't just drop it on the people, because the people will do what? They will revolt. There'll be a revolution. They don't want that. They want as little resistance as possible. So they bring these things in gradually. It's called gradualism, instead of it being a sudden change. Everybody with me? Okay. Let's move on. Now, as you guys can see, the ones of you guys that are looking at the PowerPoint, I already knew the answer, but I wanted you guys to see it. Why does Esau use gradualism? Why does it exist? It exists because private citizens in the United States of America as a whole are better armed than some countries. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? There are countries with standing armies that are not as well armed as private citizens in the United States of America. That's why the elite don't want that smoke like that. What they want to do is they want to usher this thing in where you kind of accept it willingly. And then turn the folks that accept it willingly on their side to turn against the people that don't want them to do what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So they have to implement certain things to seduce the people to accept these things. And that's what they're doing. And they're doing it gradually. So I asked AI, American private citizens are better armed than some armies of other countries? And it said yes. American private citizens possess a number of civilian-owned firearms comparable to or exceeding the total number of firearms in some national armies. The United States has the highest rate of civilian gun ownership globally, with estimations of civilian firearms ranging from 393 million to over 500 million. That's more people, brothers and sisters, than there is in this entire. There are more guns that are owned by private citizens in this country than there are people. Okay. It says this high number of private firearms, even if not all are sophisticated military-grade weapons, is a significant figure when compared to the total arms of some countries' armies. Now, this is the thing. They use things like inner city gang shootings as a talking point, which it is a problem in our community. That's true. They use mass shootings like the one that took place the same day that Charlie Kirk was killed. And even Charlie Kirk's shooting as well, to push an anti-2A, 2A is the Second Amendment agenda, to disarm the people so that there's less resistance to what it is that they're plotting on doing. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second. I ain't going to read it. I'm just going to show you guys this, just so you guys own eyes. It is the same thing the Nazis did. They did the same thing. They're not playing from a new handbook. The Nazis did the same thing. Not only did the Nazis do it, brothers and sisters, but Mao Zedong did it too in China. And so did Joseph Stalin. Yeah, they all did it. It's the same. They're all playing from the same handbook. I just want you guys to see that. Maybe we'll go over this another time. But for the sake of time, I want to make sure I get through everything or as much as I can. So I'm not about to read all of that. Let's get back to the PowerPoint. All right. Now, remember, I want to keep things in your memory so that you guys can be on the same page with me. We're all moving together at the same pace, right? So we saw right here in Psalms 37, it says the wicked plot against the just. It's plots, right? Okay. Then we went one slide later and we saw in Proverbs chapter 12, verse 5, what type of plots do they have? They have counsels. Those are the plots that they have. Well, I'm going to introduce some of you brothers and sisters to something new. And some of you brothers and sisters already know about this. But we're all going to know leaving here the same thing. The plots that they have, the councils that they have take place in what are called think tanks. Now, if this is new to you, we're going to read about it so we know what a think tank is together. It says a think tank or public policy institute. So it sounds harmless, right? Is an organization that performs research and advocacy concerning topics such as social policy, political strategy, economics, military, technology, and culture. Most think tanks are non-governmental organizations, are semi-autonomous agencies within a government, and some are associated with particular political parties, businesses, or the military. Think tanks are often funded by individual donations, with many also accepting government grants. So these people sit around and they think about social policy, dealing with the people, political strategy, getting certain people elected, what they're going to do with the money, aka bringing in a digital currency, military. They sit around and they plot. How would it agenda 50 to 100 years before they ever do it? Is everybody with me? Well, the Bible warns us about this. This is Psalms 64, verse 5. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. I'm going to show you that what takes place in these think tanks are evil. They commune of laying snares privily. What takes place in these think tanks, like at the World Economic Forum, is to lay traps for our people. And they sit around and plot about it years in advance to bring in their agenda. They say, who shall see them? Nobody's going to know about this, right? Let's move on. So here is a popular think tank. Many of you brothers and sisters have never heard about it. Priest Daniel is here to tell you many members of this think tank are now currently, as we speak, serving in the Trump administration, making policy that affects you and I. The name of the think tank is called the Heritage Foundation. Now somebody's saying to themselves, well, what's that? Don't worry. I'm going to tell you all. No, I'm not going to tell you all about them. I'm going to have somebody that knows better than me, that can articulate it better than me, tell you all about it. Right? But it says here the Heritage Foundation is a non-profit public policy research institute based in Washington, D.C., founded in 1973. The Heritage's mission is to formulate and promote conservative public policies based on the principles of free enterprise, limited government, individual freedom, and traditional American values. You guys are hearing a lot about this. This is what MAGA talks about, traditional American values. It is a think tank. We've just been hearing about it since Donald Trump been around, but it's been around since 1973. They've been plotting on it since then. It's just being manifest now. And they're listed on the United States Department of State website. And some of the folks that started off in the Heritage Foundation are now in Trump's administration, making policy. And y'all are sitting around wondering how all these new policies are passing through Congress, and who's giving them these ideas to even introduce all these policies. It's these guys. Here is another popular think tank. It's called the Federalist Society for Law and Public Policy Studies. Yeah, while we are on TikTok consuming nonsense, arguing about bullshit, Esau's plotting. That's what they're doing. That's why most people have never heard of these. So now, for those that don't know what the Heritage Foundation is, I'm going to play this short video, and then I'm going to play a longer video so that we all can be on the same page as to what they are. Let's go. Hold up one second. Let me turn the volume all the way up so that everyone can hear it. All right. Let's go.
Ever wondered who's really pulling the strings behind American politics? Let's talk about the Heritage Foundation. It's a powerful conservative think tank, founded in 1973. But this isn't just some policy club. The Heritage Foundation helps shape the laws you live under. From tax cuts to Supreme Court picks, they write the playbook for many Republican leaders. They're not hiding it. Their Project 2025 lays out a step-by-step plan to reshape the entire federal government if a Republican wins in 2024. Critics say it's about consolidating power. Supporters say it's about restoring order. One thing's clear. If you're not paying attention to think tanks like Heritage, you're missing the blueprint behind the headlines.
So translation, for those that didn't follow along, the Heritage Foundation has been instrumental in many of the policies that Donald Trump has proposed as laws and many of the executive orders that he has been passing. It is the people in his cabinet that were once a part of the Heritage Foundation that have pushed him to pass these laws. They helped him win, and as a result, now he's pushing their agenda. That's what's going on. But I want to take it a step further. So let's go on to the next slide, and let's learn more about this Heritage Foundation, because it sounds like, doesn't sound too sinister just yet. Now, for those of you guys that are looking at the PowerPoint, the first thing you should notice is that your man Donald Trump is where? In 2017, where is he? He's giving a speech at the Heritage Foundation. I know a lot of you Israelites, some of y'all have been seduced and you like Donald Trump. I want you guys to know that Donald Trump is down with this entire agenda, all right? He's down with the entire agenda. So get your head out of your ass. He's a part of the agenda as well, period. Now, I'm going to let this brother speak, and I want you guys to listen. He's going to explain to you a lot of things about the Heritage Foundation and make it all
It was in 1971 that Lewis Powell wrote an essay entitled The Attack on the American Free Enterprise System. This essay communicated how America had become too liberal, how America had become too diverse, that corporations and business leaders and CEOs should run the country. This essay went viral, where a gentleman by the name of Joseph Coors, of Coors family and beer industry, read that article and was so incensed, he decided to take part of the money from his family, put it in to set up what we know today as the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is the group that set up Project 2025.
Now, leading up to the election, there was a lot of talk about Project 2025. I'm going to assume that most of you brothers and sisters heard about that. Since Donald Trump has been in office, many of the bullet points, many of the goals of the Heritage Foundation have been enacted in this new administration. This is a fact. So these people are influencing him, and he's passing laws to further the agenda. This is what they're doing. Let's continue.
As a result of the Heritage Foundation being set up in 1973, then a gentleman by the name of Anthony Fisher, a British national, set up the Manhattan Institute, which was a think tank
It's another one. The Manhattan Institute. That's another one. Let's keep going.
The Manhattan Institute, mirroring the Heritage Foundation, which set up like the Heritage Foundation, but it's the Manhattan Institute that Christopher Rufo was a fellow. He is the individual who built the attack on what is known as critical race theory.
So Christopher Rufo from the Manhattan Institute is the reason why your children and your grandchildren will go to school and they will learn that slavery wasn't that bad. Where did that come from? That comes from the Manhattan Institute, which pushed this thing called critical race theory, which Donald Trump, during his speech many times when he was running for president, said he was going to abolish critical race theory. We're going to stop teaching our children about slavery. We're going to stop teaching our children that George Washington has slaves. We're going to stop teaching our children that Thomas Jefferson has slaves. This starts in think tanks. Before it ever becomes policy, I want y'all to understand that. While we're distracted, let's go.
Then in 1981, you had the Federalist Society, founded right here in Chicago at the University of Chicago. Law schools across the country that would begin to develop conservative lawyers and judges who would make sure that America would not move in the direction of what was created as a result of the civil rights movement.
And that's the reason why, if you're paying attention, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, piece by piece, is being undermined by the sitting Supreme Court right now. I need brothers and sisters to really wake up. It's time to wake up. When you on TikTok and everything, if your algorithm is feeding you trash, you need to hit that little button that says search, and you need to start looking for what's going on. What's really happening? I'm giving you guys the keys. Look up think tanks. Look up Project 2025, things of that nature, the Heritage Foundation, the Manhattan Institute. Look that stuff up and educate yourself. These are the people that are influencing everything that's going on around you. Remember what the scripture says. It says, and they say, who shall see us? You know why we don't see them? Because we're being fed distractions. Let's continue.
Why is this important? It is important because these legislators who are with us today, though they have made their way from Texas to Illinois, it should be known that those pulling the strings and funding the policy trying to take away democracy come from the Heritage Foundation, the Manhattan Institute, and the Federalist Society. And Lewis Powell, who wrote that essay in 1971, ended up becoming a Supreme Court justice under Richard Nixon.
So somebody that starts off in one of these think tanks, right, where it's a thought, they're thinking about it, they're plotting on it, winds up on the Supreme Court where now he can do what? He can institute it. Okay, let's keep going.
We are witnessing people attempting to undermine democracy. First, with partisan gerrymandering, and second, with racial gerrymandering. Partisan gerrymandering means that one particular party is trying to set up districts so they remain in control. Racialized gerrymandering is set up specifically to dilute the power of people of African descent. Racial gerrymandering was pushed aside as a result of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But because of 5 Supreme Court justices, all of whom were vetted by the Federalist Society, were former members of the Federalist Society.
Did you catch that? You had 5 people, 5 judges that would sit on the Supreme Court that were formerly parts of think tanks where it was just an idea. And then once the person that they pushed actually became president, or people that they pushed became president, slowly but surely, these guys are now put in places where they can enact things that were once thoughts. This is what they're doing. And everybody's sitting around stuck on stupid, like, well, how is this happening? It's happening strategic because they plan it way in advance and give us distractions so we're not paying attention. Let's end it.
They have voted to, piece by piece, begin to take away the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Now, we already know as Israelites that we don't really care about voting in national elections, et cetera, et cetera. That's not the point. What I want you guys to take away from what you guys just heard is pattern recognition. When you're seeing everything seeming as though it's going back rather than forwards, laws are being put in place that it seems like it's taking us back in time rather than forward. This is a pattern that you see because these guys sit around and plot on these things for decades. Let's move on.
It was a night.
Now, I want this brother to speak real quick, just to what I'm saying to you guys. Social media is a whole distraction. It distracts us from what's going on in the national level, as far as the country is concerned. It distracts us from what's going on in the world. And it also distracts us from what's going on in our quote-unquote communities. There's a whole gender war that's being fought on TikTok and YouTube. Everybody sees it, right? The sisters are saying they don't need the brothers. The brothers are saying, well, if you don't need us, then we're not going to protect you. We don't care about you. All that is manufactured. And while people are drawing a line in the sand and taking sides, right? 300,000+ Black women, Israelite women, were laid off their jobs within the last couple of months. 300,000+. At the same time that public assistance is being rolled back. The effects of these things are going to be seen in our community within months and years to come. The negative effects, while we're having a gender war that's being manufactured by the goddamn CIA, if you ask me. There's a documentary. I was talking to my wife about it this week, and I think I'm going to put together a lesson. I know that Ryan Coogler did a new one. I didn't watch that one yet, but the original documentary that Spike Lee did during Hurricane Katrina, it's called When the Levees Broke. And I'm going to go and I'm going to watch that whole series again when I get a chance. It's on YouTube, and I want to put it together where I can watch it like from start to finish in order. I watched it many years ago. And one of the things that was most concerning, and I told my wife this week, and I said, this is why the scriptures speak about you sisters having a covering. The women in the world can't understand it. I'm strong. I'm independent. I don't need no man. I got a good job, blah, 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 whatever. I don't need no man. Yeah. All right. When you watch that documentary, after they put the people in the Superdome in Louisiana, the women that didn't have a covering in the Superdome, they were getting raped. You heard what I said. It's in a documentary. Once all hell broke loose, it was chaos. It was no call the police. The women that were vulnerable, they didn't have nobody, were in the bathroom getting raped. This is a fact. So, when we see what's going on as the unraveling of the society is getting ready to come, the Bible says famines and insurrections and all these things are getting ready to come. A lot of our people are uncovered, especially our women. And the CIA is spinning this web, this narrative of a gender war to keep our sisters against the brothers, and the brothers saying, well, we ain't going to protect you. And that history is going to repeat itself. I'm just letting you know. Anyway, let me let him talk. Listen.
All right, so look, something don't add up. We are living in the middle of an economic crisis that should be on every news headline. It should be trending on all these apps, but it's not. Instead, you scroll through social media and what do you see? Celebrity gossip, relationship drama, challenges, filters, and dances. A whole bunch of get-rich side hustles that just don't work. And everybody is pretending to be okay. Meanwhile, millions of Americans are on the brink of extinction, and nobody's talking about it. Let's talk some facts here. Over 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have no savings whatsoever. Food prices are still rising, and many families are actually having to skip meals just to make ends meet. The tariffs and the inflation situation is crazy. businesses. Many entrepreneurs or working class families are having a hard time getting off the ground because it's just too expensive to get the supplies you need to run a profitable business. Homelessness is exploding in every city. We literally have entire tent cities just growing under bridges while there's constantly new high-end luxury condos being built that nobody's in. Nobody can afford to live in them. How much sense does that make? That all these homeless people living under bridges, but then all these empty condos that nobody can afford to live in. You know what I'm saying? The wages have stagnated, but rent, healthcare, and education keep skyrocketing. We ain't making no money at the job, but everything's getting more expensive in the real world. And corporate layoffs, that's happening. It's quiet and it's ruthless. And you have millions of people that are in a situation where they went to school to be in a certain field and they were doing good at the job that they went to school for, and then one day they get the pink slip, they get told, you're laid off.
Now, let me just speak to that real quick. And that's why he that hath an ear, let them hear. That's why I encourage brothers and sisters, especially if you have children, grandchildren, etc. If you are going to send your children to college, which is nothing wrong with that, make sure they're going to a college. Make sure that they're going for a degree that can withstand a recession, that can withstand a pandemic, that they're still going to be needed. That's the point. Many of us go to school and get degrees to say we have a degree, but these are not in fields that we're really needed in case of a crisis, in case of a recession. And that's what happened during C-19. The people that were in trades, the trade people, flourished. So if you were a mechanic, your mechanic job is recession-proof. It is pandemic-proof because people still were driving cars, and they still needed to get fixed. If you were an exterminator, if you were an electrician, if you were a plumber, those are pandemic-proof. Barbers did well as well, although that's not a necessity per se, right? So if you don't have a degree, try to get into a trade that is recession-proof. There's another one. I don't know if too many people want to do it, but of course we all know, man, death is certain. If you are like an undertaker, mortuary, if you go to school for mortuary science, right? That's recession-proof. If you're doing anything outside of that, try to go to school for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. If you're going to college to get a degree in business administration, good luck in a pandemic. Good luck. That's all I'm going to say. Let's keep going.
Just because that type of thing is happening a lot right now. The reality is a lot of people are drowning. Families are unraveling. And there are a lot of situations right now where many children are actually going to bed hungry in the so-called richest country in the world. But why isn't that trending? Why isn't this what we're seeing every day on our feed? And the answer is painful, but it is very clear because the system does not want you to notice. The architects of this matrix want to keep you distracted, entertained, and addicted.
The Romans did the same thing, guys. Remember, America's Rome all over again. The Romans kept the people distracted so they would not riot. It's the same thing. They bring these things in gradually so that there's no revolution. That's what gradualism is. At the same time, keeping you distracted with what's on your feed, on your timeline, on social media. But let me say this. There's such a thing called taking accountability. It is only partially the matrix's fault while you're seeing what you're seeing on social media. Because, yes, they do feed it to you, but you don't have to consume it. There is a search button where you could go searching for things that you need to know. And what I've learned from social media is that when I do a search, especially on TikTok, for something outside of what the algorithm is feeding me, then it starts feeding me what I look for originally, other videos that's related to what I look for. So my timeline is not a complete distraction from top to bottom. And that's what I'm telling you guys to do too. At the end of the day, it's too late. We're all addicted to social media. It's too late. Let's keep it real. We're all addicted. So the least you can do is keep your algorithm in check. Like when you're seeing too much foolishness, you as a person, an alarm has to go off in your head and say, you know what? I'm seeing too much foolishness. Let me change my algorithm by searching something else. And then that something else will start filtering into the foolishness. At least it's balanced. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's what I do all the time. Let's go. Let's continue.
Rolling yourself into numbness while the world is collapsing all around you. Social media has become the digital bread and circus, a new form of pacification. Back in ancient Rome, they used gladiators and theater to distract people from the reality of the corruption and the collapse that was happening all around them. Well, instead of gladiators and theater, we now have TikTok and Twitter. We have Instagram and YouTube beefs of influencer drama.
You guys get the idea. He goes on and on, but he's kind of repeating the same points throughout the video. We get the idea. Everything around us is a distraction. So every now and then we got to rein ourselves in and realize, yeah, we're being distracted. Things that we're being fed are meant to distract us. Okay? All right.
All right, so look.
Let's move on. Let's get more Bible. This is in Ephesians chapter 6, a very basic scripture we all know. Verse 11, it says, put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So I saw that word wiles. I said, you know what? We don't talk like that. So I wanted to know what the Greek word was. So I went and I looked, and the Greek word is methodia. I don't have to go further. You guys see the word there's methods. That we may be able to stand against the methods of the devil. The devil uses certain methods against us to keep us distracted while they're plotting to destroy us. We must be cognizant. We must be knowledgeable. We must be aware of what these methods that they use are so that we don't fall into it like those of our people that are asleep. And as the brother just so eloquently articulated, one of those methods is through social media and the algorithm that has been built to feed you things that distract you. We all like to be entertained. So I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all my entire feed on social media is educating me. No, there's some stuff there that I look at just to be entertained. But there's an internal intrinsic alarm in myself that I'll be sitting at work for like 20 minutes. I'll be honest. I'll be transparent with the family. I'm going to be transparent with y'all. I get a little downtime at work because I'm the supervisor, right? So I don't have to be constantly going like the guys that work for me do. I got some pockets where I can just sit down and chill at my desk, whatever, right? So I'll sit at my desk. I'll pull my phone out. I'll look at the clock and be like, all right, I'm going to scroll on TikTok for about 15 minutes and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do something else. Next thing I know, I turn around. I've been scrolling for 45 minutes. I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? And I rebuke myself like, see, this is the problem. And I've been sitting there consuming foolishness for 45 minutes. Time that I can't get back. This is me. And I know, ain't nobody else going to say it, but I know if I'm doing that, a lot of y'all are doing that too. Let's keep it real. But the difference is our people that don't have this knowledge, they can't catch themselves. So they just are constantly consuming foolishness. I'm giving y'all a method of kind of breaking up that foolish algorithm that's being fed to you and feeding yourself things and learning certain things so that you can recognize the methods that Esau is using. Hopefully everybody's with me, right? Okay, let's move on. If Esau is not catching you via social media, then he's going to catch you via mainstream media. Now, this was trending years ago, so I think we all know what this is, but maybe there's somebody who doesn't, so we're going to all learn about it together. What is Operation Mockingbird? Well, I'm going to let RFK tell you what Operation Mockingbird is. He is currently the head of the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration in the Trump administration, right? So I know if it's coming from me, maybe some of y'all won't believe it, so I'm going to let the white man tell you. What is Operation Mockingbird? Let's listen.
There's a provision in the CIA charter that says that the CIA cannot propagandize.
I'm sorry to interrupt this so quickly, but that was very important. I don't want that to fly over your head. You see, you guys heard me say it before when it came to social media. Now you hear it coming from somebody in the current administration. The CIA is behind all of this. They're behind all of this. Let's listen again.
There's a provision in the CIA charter that says that the CIA cannot propagandize the American people. President Obama adopted in 2016 that essentially reopened the door for Operation Mockingbird
so you guys can see, and that's why I told you guys it was important for those of you guys that are on Clubhouse to come over to YouTube because you can't see this. Y'all buddy, I know some of y'all voted for him. Barack Obama repealed the propaganda ban because it was banned. He repealed that and made it possible for the CIA to use propaganda to lie directly to the people. You're looking at the news thinking that you're hearing the truth, and everything that you're seeing and hearing is a damn lie. And another reason why they're getting ready to get rid of TikTok, it's the one thing that they couldn't control. They had no control over that. That's why they're getting rid of it and giving us some crap called M2 that they can control. Anyway, let's go back a little bit. I'll try my best not to break it up no more. Let's listen from the beginning again.
There's a provision in the CIA charter that says that the CIA cannot propagandize the American people. President Obama adopted in 2016 that essentially reopened the door for Operation Mockingbird so that the CIA began once again to propagandize American people.
How are they doing that, President?
High-level intelligence officials or people associated with the intelligence industry are running those journals, like Noah Schlackman, who runs Rolling Stone, who came from Daily Beast. Daily Beast was run by John Avalon, who has deep ties to the intelligence agencies. But even journals like Smithsonian and National Geographic.
So the Smithsonian Institute, National Geographic, Nature Magazine, all that is propaganda run by the CIA. A lot of stuff are lies. Lies they tell. Let's go.
Nature, the Washington Post, the New York Times appeared to be compromised by the CIA.
This is a current administration person telling you that their main newspapers, the Washington Post, the LA Times, the New York Times, all those are compromised by the CIA, all of it.
But Priest, you know those major companies, they have subsidiaries, so you don't even know how deep this thing gets.
Exactly. Let's keep going.
You know from the Twitter files that both the FBI and CIA were operating portals within the Twitter and Facebook that allowed them to manipulate information and to deplatform people.
So the CIA was allowed by Twitter and X to manipulate information and to deplatform people. When you guys see people, truth tellers, lose their platform, the CIA is doing that because they're telling too much truth. They're saying too much truth. So it's not Elon Musk that deplatforms them. It's the CIA that he deputizes and say, you can deplatform them. That's what's happening. Let's keep going.
And to silence certain people that they didn't like in the social media. Operation Mockingbird, it was an operation to compromise American journalists. There were some 400 editors, journalists from all the largest publications. The New York Times had been compromised. The Washington Post was basically.
What do you mean by compromised? For people who
well, they were functioning. The high-level people at those journals were working for the agency or had signed secrecy agreements with the CIA. And at CBS, ABC, NBC, after '75, when it all came out during the Church Committee hearings, the CIA promised that it would no longer compromise American journalists. It continued the program to compromise journalists all over the world. And today, the CIA is the biggest funder of journalism in the world.
The CIA is the biggest funder of journalism in the world. Guys, everything that you've been looking at for the past couple, with the whole chart, that's all CIA. That's all I'm going to say. We ain't going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy. I'm just letting you know. Whatever they platform and allow to get out there and you constantly seeing it being repeated in a cycle over and over again, that's the CIA behind that. Anyway, let's continue.
They fund it through USAID. In that little twilight zone before I fall asleep every night, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in the first weeks when I get into office about fixing these agencies.
Anyway, you ain't about to fix nothing. You lying. But thanks for the information, though. We already knew this. It's good to always hear it coming from somebody that don't share the same melanin hue as you and I. Maybe somebody will believe it then. Now, this is an old video. We've all seen this before. Let's watch it again.
Responsibilities to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities, Mid-Michigan communities. We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about troubling trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Now, that sounded like none but confusion and chaos. That's exactly what it's meant to be. That's the whole point. And they're calling information that's being put out online to be false. No, the information is true. That's why the CIA, as you heard from Robert Kennedy, goes in and gets rid of those accounts that's telling too much truth. They silence them. Okay? One more. Pattern recognition. Same thing, different video. Check it out.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
I know it's the voice thing is a little annoying, but they're showing you the same thing. It's all scripted. It's all scripted. That's why I don't understand. I see Israelites really believe in the crap that they see on the news. And I'm like, I'm talking about top Israelites. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna skip this for the sake of time. I think everybody gets the point. It's just another video about Mockingbird. So this is another video like many of you guys already saw, but for those who did not see it, this is when and again, I want you guys to understand, we don't care about the people in the video. Many of these people, we don't like them either. But sometimes the Most High even causes these people to say things that are true. And it's so that we know that we're not crazy. Those of us that's in the truth, those of us that are awake, we know that we've been saying these things for the longest. And sometimes these things come out and it validates what it is that we have always said. But that being said, this is Candace Owens when she was on the Breakfast Club saying the same thing that Robert Kennedy was saying. Hey, man, the CIA controls everything, including all these blockbuster movies that you guys and I go to see. These blockbuster movies are actually controlled by the CIA. Right? That's what happens. That's why I always show you guys. Okay. That's why I always show you guys, real quick, I'm going to come out for a second. I just want to show you guys this quote that's very important, and it's relevant to what she's about to say. So let me come out of here real quick, and let me go open up a new window, right? There's a quote that says, it's attributed to Napoleon Bonaparte. I don't know for sure that he's the person that said it for real, but they always attribute it to him. And the saying goes like this. It says, history is a set of lies agreed upon. That's what history is. It's a set of lies agreed upon. So that you have people that will sit in these think tanks, like the Heritage Foundation, and they'll agree that they're going to lie in favor of George Washington. They're going to sanitize all the bad things he did and just make him a hero. They're going to lie about Thomas Jefferson, get rid of all the bad things that he did, whitewash it, and just say he was a hero. They do the same thing when it comes to war. A lot of what we know about what took place in World War II is our side, the good side. The heroic Americans coming to free the people. But you guys do realize there's another side to the story, right? We went into Vietnam to liberate the Vietnamese from the North Vietnamese so that the communists couldn't take over, right? That's our side. What's their side? That's what Napoleon meant. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Now, coming back to the PowerPoint, what Candace Owens is going to explain to you is that when you go to watch movies, especially movies about history, a lot of what they're telling you is our side, and it is lies. Listen.
The CIA.
Well, before we say Hollywood was created by the CIA, I guess I should clarify because, first off, you guys do know the Pentagon has a budget for film. Like, there's a whole department in the Pentagon. I know that. That's a fact. There you go. That's all you need to know. There's an entire department in the Pentagon. They get involved with films, and they get involved with films for the purpose of propaganda. They always have.
Hit certain people. And this was before we called things promotion and marketing. You know what I mean? That's Hollywood is not really there to entertain you. Like, that's great that happens. But propaganda is something that is important to all civilizations.
I should have said Pentagon instead of CIA. Tons of them. I should show you the list. You should pull it up. It's wild. Yeah, Pentagon Department for Hollywood. Tons of them. Even Transformers.
Transformers. I say this all the time. People think I'm crazy. Transformers is CIA propaganda. That's what it is. The whole time, I grew up with the Transformers. I used to love the Transformers as a kid. I thought the Decepticons was the bad guys. No, they're the good guys. What, Priest Daniel? They're the good guys. They care about their own first. They put their own first before they put anybody else. The Autobots, they're Uncle Toms. They're willing to die to save the white man. Optimus Prime, what is his colors? Red, white, and blue. Like the American flag. Is propaganda wrapped up in cartoons and CGI animation in a movie. Facts. And she's telling you that the Pentagon was behind that while you being entertained. She's telling the Pentagon was behind that. The Pentagon put money into that franchise. Facts.
I should have said Pentagon instead of CIA. Tons of them. I should show you the list. You should pull it up. It's wild. Yeah, Pentagon Department for Hollywood. Tons of them. Even Transformers. Even Transformers, because they're concerned about certain narratives. They get involved with World War films. Like, how are we telling a story about history? Usually it's because we're lying about what we did or trying not to make Americans aware of the crimes against humanity that we commit overseas.
Yeah, the Pentagon just funded some films. Black Hawk Down, Red Dawn, GoldenEye.
The more you know. So now you understand your experience in theaters is what your government wants you to think. They want you to think that this is how things happen, and it's usually not at all how things have actually happened.
6 of the best movies made with help from the Department of Defense. This is military.
Yeah.
That's what Napoleon said. So he wasn't lying. What Napoleon said is now manifested. They've been planning this for hundreds of years. Propaganda is something that's always been used, right? Guess what? We as the Israelite community, we use propaganda too. What do you think our flyers are? What do you think that the way that we have repainted and shown Yahushua, Jesus Christ, the images that we have of him being black and everybody else in the Bible being black? What is that? That's propaganda. But it's righteous propaganda. I have a red bar on Clubhouse. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's righteous propaganda. So propaganda can fall under 2 umbrellas. It can be used for righteousness, to tell the truth about something that somebody has lied about for a long time, or it can be used for evil. Esau uses propaganda for evil. We as Israelites need more propaganda. That's why we say we need more Israelites to write books. We need people that are able to use this new AI technology to create cartoons and different things for our children to watch, so that they can come up, instead of watching Coco Melon, they can watch Israelite stuff. Maybe there's a sister that could go learn AI real good and learn how to do that because the mother's the first teacher. We need more Israelite filmmakers. Tell them the truth about the biblical history, biblical stories. Instead of waiting for the white man, we're going to wait for, what's his name, Mel Gibson, to come and do a movie on the Maccabees. Thank God that never took place. They'd had the Maccabees looking like a bunch of damn cavemen because they have the money. You got it? All right. I don't want to stay too long on this. Let's move on.
The CIA.
Let's look at 2nd Esdras chapter 15. And we're going to pick it up from verse number 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. We're watching the fall of an empire right in front of our eyes, gradually. America and her allies are reserved for the sword. So says the Bible. And one person shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men. Now, I said I have to go look that up because I know that everybody doesn't know what a sedition is. A sedition is an incitement of resistance to insurrection against a lawful authority. So now let's tie a lot of the things that we've been talking about together. You have think tanks like the Heritage Foundation, the Federalist Society. You also have the Manhattan Institute that push propaganda talking about they're trying to restore American values, which America never had values, right? And how marginalized now white people are. And how you have all these immigrants coming into the country and taking all their jobs. Meanwhile, the Mexicans are doing jobs that nobody wants to do. So we have to take our country back. And we got to put black people in their place. And they give them a hero. He's going to be the mouthpiece, the symbolic figure for the young people, because they want to attract the young people. And that symbolic mouthpiece that they gave white folks was Charlie Kirk. And then they took him away. And so now Esau is crashing out.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why the hell is
He would have been our next president. He was never going to be president, but you understand this is what they're feeding crash outs, white supremacists that hate black people. This is what they are consuming. This is crafted very, very meticulously by these think tanks. They know they're not going to get everybody, but they're specifically aiming towards the crash outs like these guys, the hillbillies. We're going to give you a hero, and then we're going to take them away. They do the same thing to black people, right? Have you noticed that every black person that we've gotten, that we looked up to as a hero, they took away? Most of them were killed. From Martin Luther King to Malcolm X to Khalid Muhammad in the 90s, you name it, they take away your so-called heroes, they kill them. Your favorite rappers, kill them. This is manufactured. These seditions are not coming out of nowhere. Esau is manufacturing these things. And the Most High is causing them to do it. The Bible tells us these things are going to happen, but it never tells us how. So we have to look at what's going on and have pattern recognition and see, oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. Okay. Let's let him crash out in peace, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to take it all the way back. Let's let him crash out in peace. Go ahead.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people. Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a problem right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it.
Okay.
Hey, Priest, is it Charlie Kirk they really mad that he's dead, or what that cracker stands for? Because I know you didn't touch on it, but he
What he
said some
symbolizes.
vile, demonic, wicked stuff about Israel, about us,
Of course.
black people. You see what I'm saying? So
course.
is it they mad because he died, or what he stand for got set back? Like, which one is it? You know what I'm saying?
What he stands for got set back, but as you're going to see in subsequent videos, what it's doing is it's causing more of them to come forward. They want to create more Charlie Kirks. They want to create an army of Charlie Kirks. That's the point. An army of a crash out army. So you take away the very symbol. It's not the man. You're 100% right. It's not the man. It's what he stood for. Many so-called Edomites feel the same way that Charlie Kirk did, but they couldn't express it. They were too afraid to express it. So he represented their mouthpiece, and their mouthpiece is gone. So now they're crashing out. That's the point, right? Let's move on. Three days ago, there was a march in Huntington Beach, California. How many of you guys knew that? By white nationalists chanting in honor of Charlie Kirk. That's what I'm talking about. See how it's happening? All the crash outs are coming forward now. Like, okay. Let's watch the video real quick.
Fight back! White man, 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 fight back!
So, what can we take away from this, right? We see that they're saying, white man, fight back. I want you guys to pay attention. That's why I have the date on the screen. I want you guys to pay attention. This is before they caught that patsy, because that's a patsy. That's not the guy that did it. That's not the guy that did it that they arrested. No, he's just the scapegoat. But this is before they so-called caught the guy, right? These guys are screaming out, white man, fight back. But who are you fighting back against? They didn't even catch the guy yet. The first two people they arrested were white people. So when you say white man, fight back, who are you fighting back against? The first two suspects were white. And the newest one is white too. But these guys are so brain dead. They're so indoctrinated. They didn't stop to think about that. Like, yeah, who are we going to fight back against? It's crazy. Let's go to the next video.
Fight back!
Listen.
White man, fight back! White man, fight back! White man, fight back! White man, fight back!
This was last night in Huntington Beach, California. This is a group of white tea Supremo men who came together for a rally after they heard of the death of Charlie Kirk. And if you can't understand what they're saying, they are chanting, white men fight back. This area of California is known for being extremely Republican MAGA based, so this is not that surprising. However, I am guessing we are going to be seeing a lot more of these little white tea Supremo rallies pop for the next few weeks. I did not see any reports that there was any violence that broke out or that there was any gunshots or that anybody was harmed during this. But this is very intimidating for a lot of people around. And this is MAGA starting to show a presence and force in their, quote, retaliation against the left after what happened to Charlie Kirk. This is why I don't condone political violence. Nothing good is going to come from this.
All this is manufactured. That's all. It's all manufactured. They know exactly what it is they're doing. Let's go to the next one.
Did you see the parade of angry white men chanting, white man, fight back, white man, fight? It's extremely alarming to hear, but I'm more so confused. My brother in Christ, for people that look like us to the outside world, it appears that we run and own everything. So most people are curious, who are you fighting back against? And not only that, if you're talking about Charlie Kirk, if you're talking about most mass and school shooters, they're people that look like us. They're white people. So I'm genuinely confused. When you're out there on the street with your tiki torches and you're yelling, white man, fight back. What? Who are you being oppressed by? Ourselves? We need to be fighting ourselves? I'm curious. And not to mention, after the third or fourth time saying, white men, fight back, don't you just naturally want to get quiet and just be like, oh. Maybe white men should be fighting back against our own, against fellow people that look like us. We can stand up for injustices, absolutely, but to think that white men are the ones being oppressed, hard to gain an audience on that platform, my guy.
See, here's the thing. People like that don't have the intelligence to think past their own stupidity. The problem is that, as Zahab alluded to, I didn't include those in here because everybody has seen them on TikTok. I didn't have to. We know all the things that Charlie Kirk has said about black people and immigrants, et cetera, et cetera. That's as far as their brain can take them. So this invisible man at the time when they did that rally, because they didn't catch the guy yet, this invisible enemy in their minds is all the people that Charlie Kirk spoke against. So when they're out there saying white man fight back, in their minds, they're talking about black people. They're talking about so-called Latinos and Native Americans. They're talking about all the people that Charlie Kirk was against. This is manufactured to cause people to get riled up. That's the point. And they did it so publicly to make it even more jarring, to inspire more people to crash out. That's the point. It's all manufactured. Let's go to the next one.
Did you see the parade of anger?
Fight back, fight back, white man, fight back, white man.
So let me get this straight. A white man goes to Orem, Utah, where I doubt there's probably a single black person within a 10-mile radius of where this event took place.
Now, I got to stop her right there, because I was with her until I saw a video circulating on TikTok. There was at least one black guy there. And what do you think? I had to laugh. It's not funny. Well, I don't know. It's not funny. It's funny. Jake was there. What do you think Jake was doing? While everybody was ducking down and running, right? Jake went to the stage after everybody ran, everybody running the hats, and Jake was grabbing all the MAGA hats, all the Make America Great hats. He was grabbing those hats to sell them.
Come on, man. That's
an
industrious entrepreneur, priest. Come on, man.
All right, let's just rock out.
Utah, where I doubt there's probably a single black person within a 10-mile radius of where this event took place, shoots another white man who is talking to a crowd of white people, and somehow black people are the enemy? Please make it make sense. Before I'm a politician, I'm a mom, and I'm a mom of a black son that goes to an HBCU, and these HBCUs are now being targeted because, again, a white man shot another white man at a event full of white people.
Well planned. Well planned. That was the whole idea. That's the whole idea. That's conditions are going to come about. That's the whole idea, to get everybody fighting amongst each other. That's the point. That's the point.
Hey, priest, you remember back in the days they had this book called the Turner Diaries? Were you familiar with that?
Yeah, of course.
Now, in hindsight, bringing out what you're saying about the alphabet A, B, C, I, and you know what, right? Them clandestine agencies. Could it be that they planted that book also to rile up Esau? Because when you think about it, looking back, they're the hands behind riling the people up to push forth this race war. So could it be?
It could be. It could be. It could be. The tentacle CIA is everywhere. And they're not even really supposed to be operating domestically at all anyway, according to their quote-unquote charter. But we know Esau doesn't follow his own laws. Rules for thee, not for me. Anyway, let's continue.
Just needed a trigger. And then clearly this man must have been some type of symbol of racism if his death automatically triggers white men to feel like now they need to attack black people.
And that's what you said, Zahab. That's exactly what you said. Figure, they propped him up, then took him away. You know what I'm saying? That was the purpose that he served, to rile the rest of them up. That was the point. While we're getting down into the mud, being somewhat distracted by all the things that he said, and we're in our emotions and feeling upset. He said this about Martin Luther King. He said this about black people. He said this. Yes, that's all true. and you should be upset, but there's a bigger play at hand while you've been focused in your emotions on what he said and how it hurt your feelings. There's a bigger play being played behind the scenes. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. Let's go to the next one. So, not only did that happen, now you have elected officials and politicians calling for a civil war over Charlie Kirk's death. Listen.
Republicans on social media and on Fox News are now declaring war on Democrats and anybody that disagrees with them, advocating for rounding people up and arresting them in the wake of the shooting of Charlie Kirk and, of course, his subsequent passing. Now, before we even get into any...
This dude is more valuable in death than he ever was in life. For those of y'all that are a certain age, the rapper Biggie Smalls, after he died, on his album, his second album, Life After Death, there's a song called You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You. Tupac Shakur has made more money dead than he ever did alive. Biggie Smalls has made more money dead than he ever did alive. Elvis Presley has made more money dead than he ever did alive. And we're going to see what happens with this guy. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
Clips of people like Jesse Waters saying that there needs to be some kind of revenge against Democrats for the shooting. I just want to start by saying that this is absolutely tragic. What happened to Charlie Kirk is heartbreaking. As you folks know, I have plenty of disagreements with Charlie Kirk, but now is not the time for politics. This is not left or right or center. It's nothing like that. This is a man who is leaving behind 2 little kids, a wife who loves him, and for that, I am heartbroken, and of course, neither Charlie Kirk nor his family deserve this. So I wanted to start by saying that because in these clips, you'll see a lack of humanity, and I'm asking, where is our humanity? So I'm going to display it, even if the Republicans and many of them on social media won't. But let's just start here with Jesse Waters, who went on this tirade following the shooting of Charlie Kirk, and it's just abhorrent. You have to see it for yourself to believe that it's real, but he actually said this live on Fox News.
So this is on the news, which is controlled by the CIA. This is the message that they want to come out behind this. Listen.
Take a look.
This hits differently because Charlie was one of us. And Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA. They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. What are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible.
See what they did right there? Did y'all catch that? The man is dead. Now they're speaking for him. He would want us to put pressure on them, aka violence. So even in his death, they're going to use him to push the agenda. That's exactly what they're doing.
Just going to have to ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, the media, and all these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point. And we know which direction we're going.
Incredibly inflamed.
Did y'all catch that? He said, this is a turning point. This is a turning point. What was the name of Charlie Kirk's media company? It was called Turning Point USA.
Yeah, I get it. I see it. Charlie would want us to go to a HBCU and just unalive anything black moving.
We're going to use his death
to kill. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to use his death as a turning point. All scripted and manufactured. If you have spiritual eyes, you cannot miss it.
Kind of the one.
And incredibly irresponsible. Like, I appreciate the message from Jesse Waters saying, like, this is unacceptable, it can't happen again. But you heard throughout his speech there He kept saying they are at war with us. They are committing political violence. Who's they? We can only assume that he means, of course, the Democrats, people that disagree with him. It's the left, in his view, is at war with them. Quote, they're at war with us, whether we want to accept it or not. They're at war with us. And what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? What an incredibly irresponsible thing to say from somebody on America's most watched news network. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is not left or right. This is not the left is at war with the right or the right is at war with the left. This is, we're talking about the American people, America, our country. And Jesse Waters is saying that they are at war with us. Something has to be done about it. It's abhorrent. It's irresponsible, and it's wrong. I just can't fathom this. Here's another one where Nancy Mace immediately reacted to the shooting of Charlie Kirk, saying that the Democrats own it, that it's the Democrats who are somehow culpable in what happened today. Take a look at what Nancy Mace said, her immediate reaction.
I'm going to say this. Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. All the kids of every conservative.
You guys get the idea, right? They're just trying to create a boogeyman, a straw man. But I want you guys to understand and take away, at some point, all of this is going to be pointed towards us. They're going to create a situation. I don't know what it's going to be. They're going to create a boogeyman. I don't know who it's going to be. And they're going to, all eyes is going to be on us. Just know that day is coming. Just know that day is coming. Let's move on. Now, here's another guy who is totally seduced by social media. Listen.
All right, so R.I.P. Charlie. But we're not but about that. But if you guys think it's going to shut anybody up, it's not. You just released the beast. And I mean, like, in everybody, in all the conservatives, and everybody. If y'all want the Civil War.
Who said anybody wanted a Civil War? Nobody said they wanted a Civil War. You're watching too much goddamn Fox News where that narrative is being pushed by the CIA for crash outs like you. That's the point. To cause insurrections and seditions. That's the point.
The conservatives and everybody, if y'all want the Civil War, you're about to fucking get it. So, yeah, don't be fucking confused when the shit comes at you. Because, all this, we're done talking. We're done talking. Okay, obviously y'all aren't talking, so we ain't talking either. So, get ready, motherfuckers, because it's coming.
Here come the Nazi symbol. That's the Nazi symbol right there. See it? That's the neo-Nazi white supremacist symbol right there. Y'all saw that. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men. We already see that brewing already. It's always been, but you can see it escalating. They need events to happen for these things to escalate. And invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or their princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. This is very reminiscent of what happened in 70 AD when the Romans were going to come in. In Luke chapter 21, Yahushua told the people that were not in Jerusalem, don't come in. Don't. There are going to be insurrections in cities all across America in due time because of incidents like these and others. We have to ask ourselves a lot of questions. According to, taking it back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the class, where that girl got her neck slit on the train, they say that dude had mental illness, and there were plenty of signs. But the judges just kept releasing him. If you've been here for the whole lesson, you know some of these judges are strategically placed on the bench, and they do things like that. They release certain people back out into the public to do certain things because they know that this person is mentally ill and they're going to do something. Zahab, was it Hillary Clinton? I forget. Was it Hillary Clinton that said you should never waste a good crisis? Was that her?
Nah, but a dude associated to her, some dude named Ram Emmanuel,
Rahm
he was
Emanuel.
on her staff. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, you never waste a good crisis. That's the mindset of Esau. You guys get it? Anytime that there is a crisis, some crises happen naturally and some crises are manufactured. But every crisis, as far as they're concerned, can be used for their purposes. Let's move on. Oh, let's read verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. These people are so incensed, so angry that when the time comes that they can take their guns and come into inner city neighborhoods where our people are, when they come in, they're not going to have no pity. Do you guys remember? I don't know if there's enough time, and I don't know if YouTube will give it to me, but in that Hurricane Katrina documentary, when the fire department was going in, there's a clip where the firefighters were saying when they're going in there during Hurricane Katrina, they're going to shoot people first before they help them. And the person asked, do you have any sympathy? And he said, no. These are people that are starving. They're scared. Some of them are dying. And the fire department is being sent in. And the firefighters are saying, when we go in there, we're going to kill some of them first before we help them. And no, we don't have no sympathy. Now that I said it, I wonder if I can find it. I'm only going to take like 60 seconds. If it doesn't pop up on YouTube, then I'm not going to waste no time with it. Let me see if it'll pop up real quick.
Yeah, but I don't see why people would be alarmed or whatnot. This is the same people that was raping our women and then stringing them up and cutting the babies out. This is the same people stomping on the heads of babies and feeding little babies to alligators and killing our men. So it's nothing changed. I would expect that. When you expect the worst from your enemy, then there's no surprises. That's why the scriptures tell you never trust thine enemy. Right? We go out there and we teach that. They tell us, oh, you racist, you hate mongers. And like you said, priest, you're right, man. I think one of the next false attack, they might do something and try to wave the BHI, try to weave us in there, Black Hebrew Israelites. You know what I'm saying?
Eventually.
Eventually.
So I don't know which one of these videos it is, but here's a goodie right here. What is this? Where is it? Right here. You had white militias that were going into black neighborhoods during the time of Hurricane Katrina, right? And they were shooting people. Isn't that just what we read in the Bible? And it happened in contemporary times recently. But we're so distracted, we forgot that this happened during Hurricane Katrina. It's about to happen again. This devil right here claims he shot 38 people. I know that it's our people. 38 during Katrina. That's what the scriptures is telling you is going to happen. Now, I can't find it, but there were firefighters that were going to go in there and said they're going to shoot people too before they helped them. Okay. Verse 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. We've seen this even in contemporary times, and it's going to happen again. And guys like this can't wait. They can't wait. Let's move on. Now, recently, within the past couple of months, you had Captain Tazariak of ISUPK and Yawasop of Rum Gadal. They debated a Christian named God Logic. That's neither here nor there. But I want you guys to see what God Logic did when he heard about Charlie Kirk dying. You know, the guy that said that he was happy that George Floyd was killed. That's what Charlie Kirk said. Charlie Kirk said that he wanted to release, he started a petition to release Derek Chauvin, the guy that actually killed George Floyd. He wanted him released, okay? So here we have this black Christian. We're going to start at 11 minutes, and we're going to see how he felt when he heard that Charlie Kirk died. So let's start the video, and we're going to jump to 11 minutes. You going to say something, Tom? Oh, I thought you were saying something. So we're going to start at 10 minutes and 52 seconds. That's him right there, right? Let's take a look.
Man.
This nigga literally crying for the cracker, man.
Not just any white man, a white man that openly hated our people. But you know why he loves Charlie Kirk? Because Charlie Kirk claims to be a Trinitarian Christian. So that's his brother more than me and you, Zah. We're Israelites. Charlie Kirk was a Trinitarian Christian that was racist, but that's his brother before you and I.
Let me too, sweetheart. Yeah, still gotta do this.
Okay, we can stop it right there. That's all. This is your Christian church. Matthew 24, verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, ye the anointed, and shall deceive many. This guy deceives a lot of people. He's a deceiver. And he's a coon too. That part. Let's go to the next one.
I'm gonna look.
You guys from Texas. There's a pastor down in Texas. His name is Joel Webbin. He's from Covenant Bible Church in Texas, right? I'm showing you this because these are the Christians that black people cry for, right? This dude cried for God Logic. This guy God Logic cried for Charlie Kirk. This is one of Charlie Kirk's contemporaries. We already know what Charlie Kirk said, but let's see what his friends think. So this guy was asked the question about his children. I want you to hear what he says concerning his children and black people. Listen.
If you're a Christian white parent who loves the Lord and loves your children, that you need to have the talk. The talk that we're referencing.
Now, guys, we all know what the talk was when we were growing up. The talk was the birds and the bees, right? You got to teach your children about their anatomy, what its purposes are, and how to care for it and not to engage in certain things until you're ready. I think that was a nice way to say it. That was the talk when we were growing up. But the white man says, no, we're going to have a different talk with our children. The talk has now changed. What is the new talk?
If you're a Christian white parent who loves the Lord and loves your children, that you need to have the talk. The talk that we're referencing is the talk that takes your children according to their maturity at the proper time, the appropriate time, and says, there are certain parts of town that you cannot go. And there are certain people that you cannot be around.
Yep.
Right? If there's someone who is black in our church, and they've been in our church, and we know them, and they love the Lord Jesus Christ, great. We're not talking about that person, right. But we're talking about when you go into a crowd of people. If you go into a crowd of strangers, and they're white strangers, there's some danger. If they're black strangers, there is 30 times more danger. Them's the facts. And it is actually a failure of your parental duty. White parents, please hear me. If you teach your children growing up, if you lie to them and say, all people and all races of people in our country are the same. They are not. You are actually depriving your child of factual, truthful information that could save their life.
This is a friend of Charlie Kirk's, the guy that this guy right here was crying for. And he loves them and hates us. I just want y'all to know that. For those of y'all that are teetering on the edge, thinking about maybe going back to church, this is not the truth. This is what you're going back to. I'm just saying. Here we have another politician from Ohio saying the same thing, trying to incite insurrection. By now, we're 2 hours into the lesson. I think everybody sees the pattern. There is no need for me to play the video.
I'm afraid.
Let's go ahead and let's move on. Who is Henry Ford? Everybody knows who Henry Ford is. You learned about him in elementary school, I would think. Henry Ford is most famous, of course, for the Ford Model T. car. He's the namesake of the Ford Motor Company today, right? Amongst other things. That's who he is. Now, I'm going to be honest. We don't like Henry Ford. Why don't we like Henry Ford? Because Henry Ford is giving a lot of credit for things he should not be given credit for. Because as usual, the credit should have went to a foundational Black American, and that Black American didn't get it. And many of us don't know that man's name today, but we know Henry Ford's name, which is a shame. Let's play the video real quick.
Former African-American slave who went into Arkansas, he stacked his money up and he became a railroad owner. He owned a railroad system, and the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas ended up buying his railroad system, and that system is still owned by Pine Bluff right now. The Patterson Car Company was a car company founded by former slaves, African-American men, and the Patterson Car Company was the first African-American car manufacturer in the country, one of the, I think, the only manufacturer in the country. And what's interesting about the Patterson Car Company, it was in Ohio. Their cars were considered higher quality than the Model T cars that Henry Ford had.
So don't never let nobody tell you that Black people never did nothing great in this country. When we had a car company here in America called the Patterson Car Company that was churning out better cars than Ford was. Let's continue.
The DeRay brothers, Ford and stole it. That's why all over the world, Ford never gets credit for inventing a car. He gets credit for mass production.
So Henry Ford gets credit around the world for not inventing the car because people know better. But unfortunately, they give him credit for mass production. But guess what, brothers and sisters? He didn't come up with that idea either. The idea for mass production of cars does not come from Henry Ford. Let's continue.
The cars began coming off the assembly line at the rate of 1 every 40 seconds.
Until that, they take one car and put it together. One car and put it together. But where did you get that from? George Washington Carver.
So to make a long story short, for the sake of time, the idea for the assembly line came from George Washington Carver, another foundational Black American, not Henry Ford. He just gets the credit. So we don't like Henry Ford. I just wanted to say that. We don't like him. So Priest Danielle, if we don't like him, why are we talking about him? Because even the devil sometimes, every now and then, can tell you some true things if you have discernment. Henry Ford wrote a book called The International Jew. This book was written in November 1920. And what does the cover of the book say? The International Jew, the world's foremost problem. The same thing that we're all thinking today, they were saying 100+ years ago, guys. It's the same thing. The small hats have always been a problem. We ain't got to go far. We're going to go right to the first page, the preface. I'm just going to read the highlighted portion for the sake of time. It says, not only does the small hat question touch those matters that are common knowledge, such as financial and commercial control. So this is not a new talking point. More than 100 years ago in America, they were complaining that the small hats were controlling the money. Usurpation of political power. Translation, the people that were controlling politics back then, over 100 years ago, were the small hats. Do you know who controls politics today? AIPAC. They're the #1 political action committee in America who has pledged their loyalty to Israel, and most of your politicians that are in office have been funded by AIPAC. Today, nothing has changed. Monopoly of necessities. Autocratic direction of the very news that American people read. There it is. There it is. They controlled all the news that you were getting from your newspapers and magazines and periodicals back then, and they control mass media today, and they control social media too. And they feed you these narratives that stoke the flame of these things where people are going crazy. And they use Charlie Kirk as just a symbolic figure to stoke these things. It's the same playbook they have always used. Direction of the very new. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Hello? Zob, you gonna say something?
No. Go ahead, finish. I was just gonna make a point after you finish.
But it reaches into cultural regions and so touches the very heart of American life. They control everything that goes on in American life back then and now. So what I'm showing you guys, this is a whole playbook. What you guys are being fed right now in the news, including what's dominating the news, is them. They're behind all of it. Even these think tanks, they're behind all of it. Go ahead, Zob.
No, I wanted to bring to light a perfect example is the New York City mayoral race, right? And you touched on that maybe about a month ago, where all the candidates, they pretty much pledge allegiance by saying they're going to visit Israel as soon as they become the mayor, right? And only one person said, nah, I'm going to stay here. That's Mamdani. Even though he's a socialist, even though he's quote unquote a Muslim, this, that, the third, but that just goes to show exactly what you're saying, right? AIPAC controls the political landscape. And if you look deep enough, I'm pretty sure some type of money, some type of funding is going towards Cuomo and all the other people in the race, because they all said the same thing, almost like they reading out of a script, they reading out of a book. They saying, soon as I become mayor, I'm going to Israel. And people are like, what? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to bring that out, Priest. What you're saying is the truth, and every now and then they open their mouth and they tell on themselves.
Yeah. And they were all reading from a script. They know what to say if they want that funding to keep coming in. Now, I said all that and did all that to come back. Is there a small hat connection to what happened with Charlie Kirk? Maybe, maybe not. I told y'all we're not going down the conspiracy rabbit hole, but I want you guys to know the conversation exists. It exists. Check it out.
Who gets in the way? It doesn't matter where they are. Even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall.
So this guy is a Israeli Mossad agent. And anybody, basically what he's saying, because it's a short clip, anybody that comes against them, that person is going to fall. It doesn't even matter if you're in the East with them or you're all the way over here in the West with us. We're going to get you. One way or another, right? Listen.
One who gets in the way. It doesn't matter where they are. Even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall.
What do you mean the politicians in the West will fall? What do you mean the politicians will fall?
Donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do.
Now, with all the messed up stuff that this dude said, right? We all know the messed up stuff he said. Right here, what he's saying is true. Listen.
Donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open-border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up.
So they control everything. They control the movies, the colleges, the news, everything is Jewish people doing this. This is him saying this shit. Now, I'm not saying that they necessarily kill. I'm going to let you guys see that the conversation exists. And what you're being fed in the mainstream media can possibly just be a distraction to what really happened. We will never know. Let's continue.
So you know more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me. Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every.
But hold on, man. You got more videos of him praising Israel and talking about Israel is blessed and we must. So he was talking out the side of his neck.
He's playing both
unintended.
Sides.
Yeah,
he's playing both sides of the fence because guess what? That's why him and what's that other devil man that's so that has a Spanish last name but he's one of them.
Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes. That's why they fell out. If you know that they fell out before Charlie Kirk died. Him and Nick Fuentes, they fell out.
Come on.
Because at the time, Charlie Kirk was saying all that stuff you're saying about Israel positive, but towards the end of his so-called life, he started speaking against them. So now people are saying they're wondering if this whole thing, this puppet that they got, that they say they caught, is a distraction, and really the Mossad did it. We'll never know. That's why I said we're not going to go down the rabbit hole of conspiracies. I'm just trying to show you, brothers and sisters, that they be playing in our faces to distract us. Now, just for LOI camp, the men in the camp, right? Y'all saw yesterday that I shared an even more powerful video than this in the chat. In the camp chat, the Telegram chat that we have, I shared a video in there, and all of y'all were texting me back saying the video is saying it's no longer available. Why not? Because they got rid of them. There was a bunch of videos popping up on my timeline like this, with very explicit, with details, very explicit, showing the possibility that Charlie Kirk was taken out by Israel. All them videos got scrubbed off the internet. You can't find them. I was looking for them this morning right before I went live. I can't find any of them. And we know, according to Robert Kennedy, that the CIA was allowed to come in and scrub information off the internet if they don't like it. I'm just saying.
Who gets in the...
Now, let's move on. I'm over my time, but I'm going to finish. I'm going to give less commentary. And I'm just going to get through the rest of these videos because I want to move on to something else next week, right? So, remember months ago, we talked about transhumanism, right? In videos earlier today, we talked about Project 2025, where they had all these bullet points of things they wanted to institute. And once Donald Trump became president, they started to institute those things. Well, there's another think tank called the World Economic Forum that has their own plans. It's called Project 2030, also known as Project Esther as well. And it's very diabolical. Now, we don't know if they will be able to achieve all these goals within the next 4 years and what do we have left, like 4 months? We don't know. But they are openly, secretly telling you what they're planning on doing. When I say openly, secretly, that sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. They have these meetings in the open, right? But they feed you so much distraction that you don't even know these meetings exist. You don't even know they exist. So basically, it's in secret. So by 2030, brothers and sisters, they want to get rid of cell phones. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's the goal. Well, if they get rid of cell phones, what are we going to have? They want you to be the cell phone. Listen.
I think it will, first of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
The cell phone will be built directly into your body. That's not possible if they don't put something inside of you. A lot of you brothers be choking on this whole thing with the microchip. They're telling you they're going to put this in your hand. Elon Musk talks about putting it in your brain, which is Neuralink. They talk about these things openly.
It will, first of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
That's called transhumanism, making man and machine one. They show you it in the movies and we laugh at it and think it's entertainment. It's not. Now, we Bible people, so let's read the Bible. This is Psalms 139 and 14. It says, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. So David said the Most High's creation is wonderful and marvelous, the way the human body is constructed in its present form. And it is wonderful. It is a wonder of the world, the way the human body works. But Esau said, no, I don't think God did a good enough job. I think God should have made it with man and machine in one. So since God is not doing it, I'm going to do it. Check this out, y'all. Look at this video right here.
Hey, Bethany. How's it going?
Good. Are you Ted?
Yeah, I'm on the red circle right now, actually.
Oh, great. Good luck. And don't forget to mention me.
Let me show you something. Invisible devices should feel so natural to use that you almost forget about their existence. You'll note that's me and my voice speaking fluent French using an AI speech model that's part of my own AI.
So it's a lot of things that they have planned. This is all called transhumanism. This is what they plan on doing. Right? Here's another one. This is Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum. These are these think tanks that I was talking to you guys about earlier. While we're distracted, they sit and they plan this. This is sinister. And they plan these things because as long as you have these things inside of you, as long as you are part of their technology, you'll be able to participate in the system. If you're sitting back saying you're going to opt out of this transhumanism stuff that they're planning on doing, you're not going to be able to participate in the system at all. You're not going to be able to eat. Nothing. That's the idea.
But can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers. Is it imaginable?
So basically what he said was, within 10 years, and again, we don't know if the timeline is going to be exact or not, he wants it to be where he has an implant in his brain, you have an implant in your brain, and he could use his implant to know exactly what you're thinking. So he could be up there saying the most diabolical stuff, and if you don't like it, he gonna know without you even saying anything. Whatever you think about him, he's gonna know without you being able to say anything. This is the world that they want to create. This is the world that we're praying to God to destroy, to send his son back to destroy. So our part of this job is to go out and teach our people daily, day and night, in hopes of sealing the 144,000 so the Most High can send his son to destroy this place before they accomplish what they're going to accomplish, even though we know that they're not. Esau literally is the devil. Only a devil would think about doing stuff like this. This is crazy. This is 2 Ezra 15, verse 20. It says, behold, saith God, Yahweh, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and from Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and to repay the things that they have done to them. Verse 21, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus saith the Lord, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. So these other nations that came against the Most High's chosen, the Most High said he's going to recompense them. He's going to pay them back. But there's another part. Some of our people are so joined at the hip with these nations that they got to go to. This is Amos chapter 9, verses 8 through 10. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon a sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. Utterly destroyed means completely. So the Most High is not going to completely destroy the house of Jacob, but there's some of our people that are going to get destroyed. The ones that don't want to repent. Verse 9, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Verse 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, with saying the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. What is the evil? The things the Most High prophesies are going to happen. You have a certain amount of our people that are so wicked, they're so prideful that they don't believe these things are going to touch them when they come. You can show the people all the videos I showed y'all today of what Esau is planning, and you have a lot of our people that are so proud and so arrogant, they feel like as though when these things come, it's not going to touch them. But it's going to touch them. This is the 37th Psalms. It says, fret not thyself because of evildoers. So this is encouragement. This is where we're going to end it. We're not supposed to fret because of what the Most High has happening, what he declared is going to happen. We're not supposed to.
It's like a priest. You coming in and out. You breaking up.
And we may not be some of us. We're not supposed to envy other people because their recompense is coming. Verse 2, for they shall soon be cut down like grass and wither as the green herb. Verse 3, trust in the Lord and do good. What is doing good? Keeping the commandments. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thy heart. So if we delight in the Most High, everything that we desire in time, the Most High will give you. But there's a caveat to that. People think, okay, Most High will give me everything I want. No, everything that you want within reason. Because if the Most High gives you everything you want, some of you brothers and some of you sisters will fall out the truth. I'm not telling y'all because that's what I think. That's what I know. There was a brother many years ago that was in the school with us. And the brother won a settlement. I don't want to exaggerate. I want to say maybe the brother won a settlement of at least $250,000 to $300,000. His brother was diligent. He was coming to camp, doing the work, the whole nine. When he got himself that $250,000, brothers and sisters, the man stopped coming to the school. The man stopped coming to camp. He fell out the truth. One of those Negroes that never had money in his life. Next thing I know, we're getting stories coming back to us that this guy is in the club. I'm just going to say it. If you have children listening, my apologies in advance. This dude was over there tricking on hoes, taking females he barely even knew on expensive vacations. He only won $250,000. Brothers and sisters, that's really not a lot of money, especially in New York. He didn't invest none of it. And just like the prodigal son, brothers and sisters, eventually the money ran out. And then the women wasn't messing with him no more. And then guess who popped up? This is maybe like 2 or 3 years later. Guess who pops up back up at the school after all this time? The brother. It was a tragic tale, man. And the brother slowly but surely started coming to camp again and everything like that. And the reason why I'm able to tell you guys this story is because he told it to us. And a few years later, unfortunately, we got a phone call from the brother's mother. The brother passed away in his sleep. See, the Most High cannot give you everything you want. Because if the Most High gives you that thing that you want, you out of here. You know it and I know it. Brother, if the Most High gives you that woman on the internet that you're looking at, you want your wife to look just like that, you're out the truth, bro. Forget about it. You out of here. You're out of here. Anyway, verse number 5. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. If we trust in the Most High will give you what you need. Your desires that you desire, that you need those things, the Most High will give it to you. The things that you want that could destroy you, the Most High will not give you that. Verse 6, and he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Right now, we saw that was Esau in the context of today's class. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, though thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. The time is going to come where when the Most High sets up our kingdom, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, all this that Esau had in America, this great city, this golden city that Esau has, his military, his finances and all that, where is it? The only way people are going to believe that it existed, we have to write about it in the book. Because it's going to be nowhere to be found. We just have to be patient and continue to teach. Hold up our end of the bargain. Keep the commandments. Turn many to righteousness. That's the mandate. All right, so we're going to stop right there, guys. Hopefully the lesson was edifying and everybody was able to follow along. If you guys were able to follow along, put one in the chat. While you guys are doing that, Elder Zahab, if you want to say anything, the floor is yours.
Yeah, part in scripture, I wanted to go back 2 chapters over, stay in the book of Psalms, jump back over to Psalms chapter 34, which just coincides to what you're saying. Start at verse 16, book of Psalms chapter 34, verse 16. It says, the face of the Lord is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth, which it goes into what you were saying, priest, that all the wicked imaginations of the wicked, all the devices, all that stuff is going to be cut off, and we're not going to remember it when we're in the kingdom. So I just wanted to bring that out. But more importantly, verse 17 is important. It says, the righteous cry, and the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of all of their troubles. So no matter what we go through, the Lord is going to deliver us out of our troubles. So we just got to stand firm, like you said, priest, stand firm, right? Build our faith up, right? Because you know the Most High is going to deliver us, because like you said, we are keeping our end of the bargain by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, going out, trying to wake our people up, keeping these high holy days, right? All these things are we just rehearsing the righteous acts. So once we do that, have no fear, the Most High is going to deliver us. He ain't never lived nobody before. Anybody who believe in the Lord, they never stumble, and the Lord never forget about them. So I just wanted to bring that out. Just have faith and stand strong.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. So lock you for that. All right. So once again, brothers and sisters, we appreciate you brothers being here. You guys on YouTube, if you're not subscribed, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please also hit the notification button so you can be notified every time that we go live. It's your brother Priest Daniela, along with the Elder Zahab, representing Lions of Israel, Maccabees TV. If you've been watching the video and have not, hit the like button. Wicked as hell. Repent. And if it be the Most High's will, we'll see you guys again next week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, I say shalom.
I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the I call her Babs for short. She has a lot of lovers, she lets them pass her port. She has a love affair with every foreign nation. She has a favorite wine, its name is fornication. She has a purple robe, she has a pearly necklace. And if you worship Caesar, she'll give you worldly blessings. She's insatiable, she cannot hide her passion. Last week, somebody said she rides a dragon. I know it's crazy, but the question is, why she had to put a crown upon its 7 heads? And it's even deeper, I had to peep the madness. She made war with the saints that tried to keep commandments. And since she killed the righteous and won't let me be, when she burns, it won't be from an STD. Bodies everywhere, both man and beast. And on that day, the birds are gonna have a feast. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? Show me the finest girl, Babs is just as pretty. Her name is Babylon, the girl is such a mystery. Yeah, she's been that way since we were little kids. She nicknamed me Mark like I was 666. She said, you want my number? I said, you high as hell. She said, you need my number or you can't buy or sell. She said, take my number. I know that I can't make you, but I'm espoused to Christ and I'm staying faithful. Isaiah had a vision, he saw the elevation. Jesus preached the gospel, John had a revelation. Her lovers hated Babs, so they burned her up. What's upside down, the Lord could always turn it up. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon.